Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome back to another Chewy Mew review, where today we're going to be taking a look at a glass of milk. No, I'm just kidding, we're not taking a look at a glass of milk. I'm going to take a sip of this before we begin, actually. There we go. And today we're going to be taking a look at another figure. We're going to be taking a look at another figure from the Toybiz Marvel Legends Sinister 6 box set, and that is Kraven the Hunter. So as you can see, this fella has some custom weapons, and as you can see, the camera doesn't focus. There we go. Also, I've noticed a bunch of, looks like a static kind of, like there's a lot of video noise, like, see, like it looks like particles and stuff everywhere. I don't know what that is. I record the video, and right now looking at the camera, it looks perfectly fine. But then as soon as I go to edit the footage and put it up on YouTube, it looks like very pixely, like it's very low quality kind of footage. But first, as you may notice with this Kraven the Hunter, I made some custom weapons. We made this custom dagger. Made this dagger here. Like in the video, this looks fine, but when I go to record, when I actually go to edit the footage, it looks bad. There's the dagger. I made these out of clay. I made these a few years ago before I, before I knew how to properly use clay. And these weapons don't fit too good into his hand. I keep dropping it. I'm trying to hold it there. So it's got some, like, it's got an orange colored handle and a orange blade. Like, yeah, you can tell it. You can see all the little, like, lines and stuff. You can tell it's not very, very professional. Take out this spear. Because the Kraven Hunter also has a hook on the back right here. Like, a little hole where you can hook. It's meant to hold his, like, weapons and stuff. But since I got this when I was a kid, I lost them. And here's the spear. There's a spearhead. Looks very, come on camera, folks. It looks very funky. You can see some more detail here. It's got like a dark brown and orange, or a light brown and orange kind of color. There's some pink coming off here. That's where the hand holds it, where it slides into the back. Set that down as well. And this figure, just like all the other figures in this box set, has had some wear and tear. And you may notice he doesn't stand up completely straight. Like, if that's completely straight up, but his left foot is kind of shorter, it seems. Also, he's got a little bit of scratching right here on the side. A little bit of like a scratchiness right here as well. On the side, there's like a cut. I don't know what happened on some of these figures, but a lot of them have like cuts here on the side. I don't know why. Looking at my figures in my collection, there's quite a few of the figures that have that. I don't know why. I don't remember what happened. And also, as you can see, the left arm goes in farther than the right one. And that's because the arm, so because of the coat, the arm rubs off here. Like, the arm rubs here on the coat and it doesn't go down as far. So I sanded down some of the torso in here. That way the arm can sit farther down. I tried doing it on the right, but it didn't come out as good. Because the arms are like both always out like this, and that really bugged me, so I sanded them down a bit. But let's take a look at the face. There's Kraven the Hunter face. So this figure also did come in a separate, like, you could buy the figure on its own. Not this exact figure, but you could buy basically this figure, because this is a reused mold of the Spider-Man Classics Kraven the Hunter figure, where he has a grin. He doesn't have the hair on the arms or on the chest. His gloves are different, or like the picture you can see on screen, the head sculpt different. Some design on the pants, some stuff here and there. And this Kraven the Hunter has hair on the chest, which I think Kraven the Hunter, like, Kraven's one of those characters that, without hair on the chest, like, is it really Kraven the Hunter? Like, come on. This is a guy that probably would never shave, Except, like, maybe his face. But I wouldn't never imagine shaving his chest or his arms and stuff. Here's a look on the back. You can see the belt here, or I guess the pant loop thing has some more, like, paint wear and stuff. Take a look at the legs here. See the joints here. These joints are actually the same color as the peg. Getting a spam call. Probably some voting stuff. Some more leg design. None of this is 3D textured. It's all painted on, except for. Oops! I pressed snooze. I had an alarm clock. I accidentally pressed snooze. This is the only part that's like sculpted. Like, this part has a thing where you can kind of see it going up. The joint here was the same color. I think they painted this or not. I don't remember, but Doesn't have it now. On the bottom of the foot, it says 2002 Marvel Entertainment Toybiz Worldwide. I don't know, it says 2002 when this was released in 2004. And the other side says Made in China. You can see a little bit of clay there on the foot from where I put clay on them to stick them on the bait. I'll stick them on the, like a desk or like wherever I'd have them displayed on a shelf, a desk, wherever. And the figures, however, I lost all their display bases, and I lost his weapons. That's why I made those custom weapons. Take a look at these glove gauntlet, or these glove. I don't know what these would be. They're not fully gloves. I don't know what they would be, and there's got some muscles there. This figure, definitely out of all the ones, out of most of the Spider-Man figures, this is one of the only that feels like, I don't know, kind of like they use like a wrestler kind of body. Like you take this off, you take off the coat, and it looks kind of like a wrestler, you know, which is kind of funky. But this figure, I had a lot of fun with this as a kid. I know I said this about pretty much all of the figures. I had a lot of fun with all these figures as a kid, and this is one of the ones that, like, apart from playing with them as like the box set, I typically never really played with these figures as, like, you know, all the Sinister Six. I would usually play with, like, you know, just the Green Goblin or just Hunter, Venom, Electro. Not with Black Hat for sure, because that figure is bad. But, you know, like, I played with each of the figures individually, like, not individually, but, like, playing with them with a Spider-Man, but just, like, a one-on-one with the villain, or sometimes, you know, stuff like that. I would rarely ever use, it'd be all 6 of the villains from the box set fighting Spider-Man at the same time, just because, I don't know, to me, that wasn't as fun. You know, when it was just me playing, I could hold one figure in one hand, one figure in the other, and, you know, playing around with them and stuff. Having 7 figures, be like, oh, here's one, and oh, here's another, and, you know, just be very kind of complicated. Because me playing as a kid, I wanted things to be very, like, orchestrated. Because kind of based off, like, the Spider-Man movies, where, especially the Spider-Man 2 train scene, of course, playing as a kid, you can't emulate a movie scene like that, but I would play with them in a similar way that you'd see Spider-Man fighting, it's like a constant action going on, and I wouldn't have time to be like, oh, well, here's this guy, and then, oh, then here's the Green Goblin, then here's Spider-Man, and oh, back to Kraven, back to Goblin, you know, that's too chaotic for me. Like, when I was playing with my friends, like I said before, I would, this box set, we played with quite a bit as well, and typically it'd be like, there's Spider-Man and Venom, and then later on there'd be like Spider-Man and Green Goblin, you know, stuff like that, where if we did like Sinister Six, if it was the two of us playing, and he also had a brother, so sometimes his brother would play, but me and him, we played like I said before, like we played kind of like it was a Spider-Man trilogy, like it wasn't just, you know, Spider-Man fights Venom or anything. It'd be like Spider-Man is like kind of like a movie in a way, like we played it like a movie, and his brother sometimes would play with us, but he didn't. He was younger, like maybe 2 years younger than my friend. I would think I was like 8, maybe. We played until like we met when we were like 5 or 6 or something. Then we ended up playing until I was like 11 when I moved to where I live now. I moved away and I don't see him anymore. But I think I was like 3 years older. With the other one, he was like, I think, or no, I don't know how older. Either way, but his brother was younger and he didn't play with us. He didn't play the same way as we did. So, but sometimes he actually played pretty good with us. Like, you know, very weird thing to say. Oh, he didn't play good. Very weird thing to say, but yeah, so sometimes when the 3 of us are playing, we could do the Sinister Six. We even did like, I think we even did like 12 villains versus Spider-Man. Something crazy like that. But either way, very cool looking figure. I had a lot of fun playing with this figure by itself, or with him, just him and Spider-Man. And I ended up losing his weapons, like I said, but I got this custom dagger, which I usually just slide into his coat here when I'm not displaying the weapons in his hand. And the thing is, with the way these hands are, you can see the hands, they're not really designed for holding. You can open up the hands, and you can put the spear in it. The weapons it comes with, they actually have rubber bands wrapped to the hand so you can stick them to it. And, yeah, the spear's kind of short. The spear should probably be, like, it should be over his head. Like, it should be this tall. Also, I'm not using my wide-angle lens. I'm just using regular lens, because I think that might help, I don't know, just, I think it makes I don't know, just something about it. I think it makes the camera quality lower or something. But the spear's supposed to stay in his hand, but the way these hands were designed, they can't hold stuff. Like, pretty much, there goes my alarm again. This time I pressed dismiss. Okay, good. Yeah, it doesn't hold too good. Usually I put, like, a glue dot to hold it in place, but it doesn't work. Oh, also I have this other one that I completely forgot about. This little dagger. Oops, bumped the camera. Oh, sheesh, keep bumping it. Alright, okay, there we go. I made this little dagger as well. This was a more recent creation. I think I already showed this, I don't know if I did, but here it is. A dagger, which the dagger I typically just put in his hand upside down, kind of like this. Like it's like a miniature, like a kunai, I guess it'd be called. And I typically put this one in the back right here. I kind of have it that all of them are hooked, because in the original figure, I think you could attach all his weapons to it. Or something like I don't remember, but either way, the spear goes in the back here as well. Like, as a kid, it gets to the point where, you know, as a kid, you end up losing all the weapons for a character, and you're like, oh, let's pretend like he's still holding a weapon, even though there's nothing in his hand. But, you know, being a collector now, I want them all to have weapons, and, you know, putting all this stuff in looks pretty good with all these, like, weapons and stuff. But either way, let's take a look at his articulation. So the head has a ball joint, which is kind of stiff. I actually put some glue dots because it just, the head was really loose. It was like a bobblehead, but he can't look up too good. He can look up a little bit, can look down a bit. It can rotate all the way around, but his coat vest blocks it. Pretty good rotation in the head. The arms would rotate all the way around, but his thing blocks it. They don't go up all the way anyway. The joint actually, they made the joint in such a way that it doesn't just go all the way up. The joint goes like maybe halfway, so you can move the joints up that much anyway. Nothing in the torso because they would break up the mold, I guess. The legs kick out pretty good. Double bend in the knee, rotation here in the upper thigh, hinge in the foot forward and back, not as much. Bend in the toe. Bend in the toe, hiccup there. And as rotation here in the waist. So not much articulation. This is probably one of the figures in the box that has the least amount of articulation. I will say it's one of my favorites. Dropping all the weapons here. But, yeah, that's going to go for this review. Let me know what you think about this figure. If you liked the video, you know, leave a like. Leave a comment telling me what you think about this figure. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments. And also, I can't remember your exact username, but SpideyFan2002. I think that's your username, SpideyFan2002. I've noticed you've been leaving comments on my videos, and they haven't been showing up. Like, I've been getting notification, like, I got the notification on the Venom review, and then also the Black Hat review, but nothing shows up in the comments. Like, I see the notification, I can read your comment, but when I go to the video, it shows that the comment's been removed, so leave me normal comments, dude. Quit doing that. But either way, that's gonna go for this review. I will see you guys in the next one. Wow!